Hi everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Non-Native Leader, a video podcast series where we explore stories of people who were not born in an English-speaking country, but they're having an international career. If you've seen the previous episodes, you hopefully been inspired by the stories and by everything all these people have shared with us and with me. And yeah, personally, I've been really inspired. And so, really, I do hope you have too. Today, I have with me Pavel Polcr. I have just learned how to pronounce the surname. Apologies, Pavel, if I don't pronounce it well, but I'm trying my best. I'm doing my best, I promise. Um, welcome, Pavel. It's a pleasure to have you here. And I mean, I'd like to really talk to you and have, some ideas of what you do, because I've been reading your posts and you have an amazing newsletter. And so now we have a chance to talk to you live. So welcome, Pavel.
Yeah. Hi, pleasure to be here. Yeah, and you did a really good job in pronouncing my surname. So yeah, thanks
Oh,
for that.
yay, I'm happy.
Yeah, and yeah, when it comes to my, as you called it, international career,
Hmm.
it's not so long because I've not been in software engineering for that long. I'm actually a career switcher, which might be an
Wow.
interesting part
Yes.
because after university I spent years in banking and I was selling investment funds basically here in Czech Republic. And yeah, and after I decided to pursue a dream because I had a little hobby of programming.
Uh-huh.
And it was funny because basically the final decision to change my life and change my career came after I had a chance for a big promotion in a bank.
Nice. Okay.
So I went through multiple rounds of talks about other position, and I was in a final selection of three candidates actually.
Okay.
And over
Wow.
the weekend I was thinking like, hey, okay, Pavel, stop. If you get this job, then you will be stuck in banking for life.
Uh-huh.
But you had this dream, of software engineering. So instead I quit on Monday my
Yeah.
job, and I took like 6 months off, and I learned, and I learned enough to get an entry level position in software engineering, and I got it, and now I'm a software engineer for 3 years.
Okay,
And
Pavel, this is already mind-blowing, okay? So let's get our bearings, okay? Um,
yeah,
so as you say, you are in Czech Republic, and that's where you're based, and that is your native country, I guess.
yes, that's
Okay,
that's correct.
perfect. And so this thing about switching career is great, is astounding, because banking and then dream. So your hobby was programming. Um, so now today you are a software engineer. You have already
Yes.
spoiled it, but we all know it. We all know it. That's okay. Um, and are you working like for a company, or are you working solo? So
Yeah,
give us a quick
yeah,
like overview on that, because I think it's
yeah.
interesting.
Let's get back to basics. Yeah. So I'm working for a company called Freepil Global, and this is a global company. We have offices like in Europe, in India, in Mexico, and headquarters in US. And basically, we build digital products for our clients. And I'm a part of the team that's working with one of our clients, Unex Traffic, which is a huge global company providing traffic solutions. So we are there, I think, four now from Freepil Global, and then from some other companies, and we are a huge international team of, I think, 18 people right now. So I have colleagues from UK, Germany, Belgium, India, and Czech Republic. And yeah, we are building this product together. So
Right.
it's very multinational and it's
Uh-huh.
very daily English. So yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, this is why I asked you because I mean, you are in your native country, but you're working internationally, and which is I think, I believe it is a great aspect. So you're able to work in an international environment, though you are based in your home country. Because in the previous stories, we talked to people who traveled a lot, and so my question to you would be then, was like software engineering that allowed you to have an international career?
Yeah, definitely.
Wow.
Definitely. I think with software engineering, uh, one thing that I pursued from my first, work was actually to have this opportunity to work in English, because my English was like decent, not that bad, but I think I was able to understand everything and to read well and to write well, but I didn't have too much opportunities for real conversation. And if you don't use your English, it gets rusty, right? So
Obviously.
I aimed for yeah, so I aimed for a job where I can really use it, and this was one of my criteria. So that's why I picked the company that had international projects and international clients.
That's great. So going from banking to following your dreams, software engineering, which was your hobby, and then
Yeah.
also getting the opportunity to use English. So getting into an
Yes.
international environment. That's
Yeah.
pretty neat,
And
Pavel.
yeah, and actually it starts to basically it opened the whole world for me, or I feel like that, because for example I had this small blog when I was doing this career switch, and obviously I wrote in Czech, you know because I wrote like for audience from Czech Republic, and it was quite successful. And then I had a pause because the software engineering starts were demanding, and I didn't have a lot of time, as you can imagine. But then I came back to writing online again, but I switched to English naturally, because I felt like, okay, now my audience is much bigger and there is much more to explore, and there is so many, there are so many interesting people all around the world, you included. So
Thank
yeah,
you.
it came natural with the job, but the beginnings were a bit crucial. Yeah.
Yeah, if you don't mind, actually, I'd like to talk a little about, like the career switch. So I guess, yeah, so like dream and everything, but it must have been challenging at the beginning. So can you tell us a bit more about that, Pavel?
Yeah. I mean, I knew enough to get the job, but I was as green as I could have been, like, and now I'm not the youngest, I right now I'm 35. So I started software engineering at like 32 years.
Wow.
And then you come to the office and you get this colleague who is supposed to be your buddy for first month, and show you around and show you everything, and he's really good software engineer and he's like 24. So this creates a bit of like it's a humbling experience, I must say.
Sure.
And and you don't feel very secure at the beginning, because
Ah,
you feel like there is too much to learn, there is too much to uh, to to go through. And also the English didn't help, because like I expected that I will be all all right, or okayish. But then first day on the job, it was coincidence, but I spent 3 hours in meetings in English, and
sure.
I didn't understand what's going on, because it was like, hey, and it was like, okay, we have this meeting. This is Pavel, our new software developer. So Pavel, please introduce yourself to everyone, and it was like, ooh, and I was like exhausted.
No
And after
pressure, no
after
pressure.
after yeah, exactly. And after first few days, I was like, okay, so what am I doing? What this was a really bad idea, and but after a month or two, you get over this, and
Yeah.
you find out that you are actually quite talented and good at it, and if you work hard, it can all connect basically.
Yeah.
So after 2 years on the job, I got the title of senior software engineer, which is
Wow.
quite
Yeah.
good. So yeah.
Yeah. That must have felt great, I guess.
Yeah.
And so, like, you went from the initial situation, like this sense of being overwhelmed and the sense of being, okay, I'm an outsider. What am I doing here?
Yeah.
So, like, what was the dominant emotion back then?
I mean, I mean, it's a combination. Like it's like a fear, embarrassment. It's like you just don't believe in yourself, but
Okay.
you need to keep going, and eventually you get on a track of like self confidence. But and I think this is common for a lot of software engineers. Like you go from, okay, I'm really getting into it, and I am getting quite good, to a humbling, oh, I'm not good at all, and I know nothing basically, and you just keep jumping between these 2 points. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's the road of
It's like a roller
lifetime
coaster,
learning.
really. It's like a roller
Yeah, yeah,
coaster.
yeah,
It's never straight. It goes up and down, up and down. Yeah, okay. And so this is pretty interesting, right? Because so you went from that sensation to being quite confident. I mean, you became a senior after what, 2 years, you said? So, which is quite a great achievement, I'd say. So what was the turning point for you? I mean, was it like believing in your skills, or was there something which made you switch from, not being confident to
yeah.
becoming?
The turning point for me was when I figured out that there are actually parts of the job I'm really good at. And that's like understanding the business domain, understanding what's behind what we are building. Because we were like four guys from Freepiller, right? Starting together. And three of those guys were like seniors, and then it was me, like total greenhorn. And but one thing where we had a common start, and we started at the same baseline, was the understanding of the business domain, the understanding of what we are building. And I got really good at it, at this. And after 2 or 3 months, I started to have a good proposal for our client, and good, proposals to how to solve problems. And in the end, the turning your solution into the code is just the last step.
Uh-huh.
You need to first solve the problem. And I
Okay.
found out that I'm quite good at this part. And this helped me to, overcome the insecurities. And you need to know your limits. So I'm still catching up on the technical sides of things, but you know being able to see the big picture and to put one and one together, that's my superpower, I think. So this helps a
Great.
lot.
Yeah. So, like, know your skills, know yourself. I mean, that's know yourself, know your skills, and work on your strength. And then, thanks to that, you can gain the necessary confidence. That's not bad at all, I would say. And that's a clear and a great strategy. And that, I hope everybody can be inspired from. I think it is great. So that's something that should
Yeah,
hopefully give courage to people and say, okay, I have this, like, I am good, I can do this, and so let's focus on this and let's use it to get the necessary confidence and move on. So
yeah.
absolutely, that's
I,
yeah.
I think, yeah, it's definitely transferable. One thing that you need to be a bit careful about uh, is to be still aware of your limits and your weak parts, and work on those continuously. Not like cover it up and not not comfort yourself that okay, I'm great at this, so I don't need to work on this, but use that you are great at this, but work on your weak parts. And one of mine weak parts is like I'm so 100% like introverted, you know so even like
Don't tell me.
speaking with
Don't
you
tell
in
me.
yeah in a podcast is a big deal for me, but I continuously work on that too. And that's also the reason why I'm so active on LinkedIn, and why I'm writing, because yeah, it helps
Yeah.
to work on that over and over and over. And one day I might be a guy who goes to some networking and just says hi to someone. I'm Pavel and I do that, but I'm not there yet. Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, it's again, I think it's great advice, and putting yourself out there. Okay, we will never be perfect, yeah, but we have to start. We gotta start somewhere, and I love your approach. Say, okay, so writing and getting out there gives me confidence, so I'll start doing it and I'll keep on doing it. And I see you show up regularly, which is great. And I mean, it's great reading you, but it's also something that I think helps you a lot, because as you say, being an introvert doesn't really help when you want to
Yeah,
have
yeah,
relationship with people. But yeah,
yeah,
that's great, I think. And
yeah. And
yeah,
yeah, it's unfortunately true that if you are good at something, it it's not enough to have success. You need to also sell yourselves, and
yeah,
that's something that applies to all of us. So yeah.
yeah.
And then the second part is, and I actually like it. um, One of my teammates always says, if something is painful, or if it feels painful, do it more often.
Oh,
you know
this is
it,
okay. This is precious.
yeah,
Can
yeah,
can you repeat that, please?
yeah. If something feels painful, do it more
Sure.
often. Yeah.
Okay,
And
okay.
yeah, he meant it for our release process, but I think you can apply it for everything really. And
Yeah.
I remind myself of this daily,
Yeah, I mean,
basically.
it's about stepping out of your comfort zone in the end, something like, okay, what can I do next to grow a bit more? And yeah, most of the times it is painful, but it's again, it's a great strategy. And I mean, I love the way you tell some of these stories in your newsletter, because ultimately, what you said is, okay, I'm good at, for example, programming, coding, but what about other skills? So where can I grow? Where can I improve? And I love the way you like tell about this openly, and give like us an opportunity to get into your life and see, okay, this is Pavel, is a great software engineer, but what about his private life? So what is he learning now? What is he doing to grow? And so yeah, tell us
Yeah.
a bit about that. So what are you sharing in your newsletter?
Yeah. So I started a newsletter which is called like soft skilled engineer, because yeah, I I mean, there is a ton of software engineering newsletters talking about like white papers and algorithms and like software engineering stuff, like hardcore things. But I don't think there is still enough talking about the importance of soft skills, because when I started this job and when I came to the business, I thought that majority of my work will be like coding, coding, coding. But it's actually more working with people than I did on my
Yep.
previous position. Almost like I was in sales in retail, so I met a ton of people.
Okay.
So I,
Sure.
I had like 5 meetings a day, but but still, it's much more working with people than I thought. And it's great because when you are, I think everyone who is in software engineer can get to a decent technical level, but then you can add some soft skills, and you are amazing person who is I like to pose it like it's pleasure to work with, then you can be a great software engineer and you can achieve
Yeah.
great stuff. So
Yeah.
so so this was meant to like help people get some new ideas, help people to grow in that area. And yeah, and recently because I thought like it's a shame that I don't use the newsletter function on LinkedIn, because I was sharing every week like what I learned from LinkedIn last week,
Yeah. Oh,
because
yeah.
I'm saving a ton of articles that are interesting,
Yes.
but then I go back to those saves usually on Sunday evening, because usually I work on this stuff during night because I have two small kids,
Yeah.
and
Tell me about that.
yeah, I can get back to it, but basically I thought like it's a shame that I don't share it with people again. Like, okay, I think this was interesting and
Of
this was
course.
interesting, but then I realized, okay, let's do it a bit better way, and I turned it into a weekly newsletter on LinkedIn. So I have to actually, and let's see how this works.
Yeah.
This LinkedIn one is fresh thing, but yeah.
Yeah, it's great strategy. I mean, you started with your blog, and then, the more you do it, the more you have this push, this drive to share, which means a lot, meaning that you help people see what it means to have soft skills. And also you're helping yourself, because the more you share, the more you are pushed to learn, I think. And
Yeah.
that's like, continuous improvement, which is big word, but this is continuous improvement in action, which is great, I think.
Yeah, it's great, but it's like, I will be honest, sometimes it's just I'm so tired sometimes, like as I mentioned, I have a family, okay? I have two kids. One is 4 years old and one is now 8 months old.
Whoa.
So it's that period which is quite challenging, and
Yes.
I actually started to be really active on LinkedIn and really write a lot like month before he was born. So basically I was thinking about
What you
calling
doing,
my
man?
yeah, I was thinking about calling my newsletter something like written overnight, because basically that's what it is. Usually I just write overnight. It's like 10 p.m. to midnight is my time for
Yeah,
writing and for creating this stuff, and it usually works very well for me. But sometimes you just need to take a break and have a pause, and
of course.
yeah, so
We
yeah,
are human after all. We are not artificial intelligence. So yeah, absolutely. We need
yeah,
to get some rest. But I mean, I think this is all great. And the fact that you still have the energy at that time of the day to share, to involve, to engage. I know. But yeah, let's not get into the details. But yeah,
yeah,
I think this written overnight is actually a great idea. And
yeah,
this is it. It's real life, man. This is something that we've all been through, and perfectly fine.
yeah.
Okay.
And
But
I
yep.
think it's just to add one thing. I think it's great
Yeah.
when professionals we see, for example, on LinkedIn, are able to also like describe that they are able to have a family, and they have sometimes struggle with juggling everything. One of my colleagues, she's actually on a high executive position in Freepillar. She told me like, it's easy. We have this balls in the air every day, and the trick is that sometimes there is a glass one, and you can't let fall this glass one.
Nope.
Yeah. So
So keep that
that's
up.
it.
Keep it up in the air. Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. Keep that up. Yes. I mean, it's all part of being human, being real, and this is it. And when we can get a bit of a like some insight into someone's lives, I think it's great, because we can somehow connect and see, okay, I'm not the only one. Pavel also has a
Yeah,
family. He's also struggling. He's also working at night. Okay, I'm not alone, and that's exactly it. Okay,
exactly.
Pavel, just before we close our chat, I'm really enjoying it, but at some stage we gotta close this. Um, any recommendation really for people who want to have an international career like you?
Yeah, English is really important. Like English is a Latin of today's work of today's world, I think, and especially in software engineering that applies. And yeah, it's one thing is to have your language like good enough. The other thing is to be fluent enough to sell your ideas, to influence stakeholders, and stuff like that. And I'm not like deliberate in improving my language, and I know that sometimes I use weird words and everything, but what really helps me is to listen to good English often.
Sure.
One advice I got long time ago was just turn on BBC World News and listen it in the background whatever you do. And this actually helped me to have a decent English after high school, despite the fact that I had horrible teachers. And just do
Hope
everything
they're
in
not
English.
watching.
Yeah, I know that. I know that. But yeah, but yeah, just do everything in English.
Yes.
Search in English. Watch movies in English. Just live in English. It will help
Okay.
with your international career.
Nice. That's
It
that's
gets
great.
it's get easier when you are actually on the job, but you can prepare well before the job.
Yeah, so like get ready before so that you don't go like, oh, okay, what have I done?
Yeah. Uh, To be honest, you will still be, oh, what have I done? But yeah,
But
you'll
at
get over
least,
it.
yes, okay, yes, that's the key message. You will get over it. I absolutely love this, Pavel. Okay, listen, it's been great talking to you today, Pavel, and I hope you've enjoyed it. I've enjoyed it a lot. I've learned a lot.
That's great.
And yes, so I'm looking forward to reading more of you and your overnight stories. And yes, be in touch. Thanks again for being with me, Pavel. It's been a pleasure.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure.